Have you been looking for an easy and delicious way to use up your sourdough discard? Then I have the best recipe for you. Sourdough pancakes. Hey guys, it's Aaliyah with Open Doors, Open Hearts blog, and today I am so excited to talk to you about my family's favorite sourdough recipe that I make. One of the reasons I love this pancake recipe so much is because almost all of the ingredients are things that I almost always have on hand all the time. I don't know about you, but when I was using pancake mixes for my pancakes for the family, I always felt like I was running out of the pancake mix. I never had enough of it to make the full batch or a big enough batch. It didn't matter. I just feel like there were too many times to count that I did not have enough of the pancake mix. But like I said, the best thing about this pancake sourdough discard recipe is that almost all of the ingredients are always in my kitchen. The other thing I really love about these sourdough discard pancakes is that I don't feel bloated and I don't feel heavy after I eat them. I feel like when I used to eat the pancake mix pancakes, I always felt heavy and yucky afterwards, and the truth is on Saturday mornings when my husband would make the pancakes with that pancake mix, I just never ate it because I just did not like the way I felt. But with this recipe, I don't feel that way at all, and I absolutely love enjoying pancakes on Saturday mornings with the girls. So the dry ingredients that you're gonna need for this recipe is 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and half of a teaspoon of baking soda. The wet ingredients that you're gonna need for this recipe are 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, a half of a cup of sourdough starter discard, 1 egg, 3/4 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so the first thing I do is I start warming up my pan. I just set it on the oven and I start warming it, preheating it on low, and then I go ahead and start mixing in all the ingredients. So the first thing that I like to do is mix all the dry ingredients first. So I'll mix the flour, the baking soda, and the baking powder together first, and then I'll just leave that in a bowl and I'll set it aside. The nice thing about doing all of the dry ingredients first is you don't actually like dirty your measuring cups and your measuring spoons. So you can then reuse everything when you can start to work with your wet ingredients, and then all you have to do is wash all the dishes one time at the end. So then the next thing that I do is I combine all of the wet ingredients. The sourdough discard, the sugar, the vanilla, the egg, the milk, all of the wet ingredients get mixed together. And in this particular situation, I was having my daughter combine everything. I totally forgot to grab the milk. So then after she stirred it all together, poor thing, it was so thick, I added in the milk and started stirring it, and it was way better, way easier, and then more representative of what the pancake mix should actually look like when it's all done. So you're just gonna go ahead and take your wet ingredients, your dry ingredients, and mix them together. Stir them up. If you've made regular pancakes with pancake mix before, the consistency is very similar. Now that the pancake mix is all mixed together, I just grab a 1/4 cup measuring cup and I start scooping the pancake mix and pouring it into the pan that way. I like to use a 1/4 cup because it makes a nice sized pancake. It's not too big, it's not too small, and then also most of the pancakes end up being pretty similar. Just being honest, my girls will fight over what pancake they get when one's bigger, one's smaller, so I try to keep it as consistent across the board as possible to mitigate some of the arguing that may or may not occur over breakfast. Now that the pancake mix is in the pan, you're gonna start to notice that it'll start bubbling on top. When it starts bubbling on top, that's when you can go ahead, take your spatula and flip them over and let them cook again on the other side for maybe like 1 to 2 minutes. And then you can go ahead and take them off the pan, put them on a plate, and then repeat the process until all of your pancake mix is used up. So now that the pancakes are all done, you just serve them. So we like to serve them with berries on top, or sometimes I'll take some frozen berries and I'll turn them into like a berry sauce. Another thing I love about these pancakes is how fluffy they are. They get all the bubbles, you can see the bubbles around the perimeter of the pancakes, and I absolutely love it. And the girls do too. The girls think that they are so delicious and they love how big and poofy they get. This recipe will yield about 10 pancakes depending on the size of pancakes that you use, which works out perfect for my family. We get to eat all the pancakes generally, and we don't have anything left over, maybe 1 or 2 pancakes. I know I touched on this a little bit already, but I did want to say again, it's 100% just my personal experience, but I do love using sourdough, and I do love eating the sourdough. I used to have a lot of stomach issues, and I just always felt like I had a stomach ache. My stomach was always hurting. But now that I'm cooking with sourdough, I feel like I don't have to be as cautious about what carbs and how many carbs I'm eating. I feel like I'm able to be a little bit more generous and enjoy things more. Again, this is 100% just my experience since I transitioned and started using sourdough. But it has been a really wonderful thing, and so that is why we have been experimenting with all of these different discard recipes, because with sourdough, you have a lot of sourdough discard. And so this is definitely one of our favorite ways to use up our sourdough discard. I do have some cookies over on the blog. They're lemon ricotta cheese cookies. They're super delicious. I cannot keep my girls' fingers off of them. I'll go ahead and link those down below if you're interested in another way to use up some sourdough discard. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope even more that you try these pancakes and that you enjoy these pancakes as much as we do. If you're new to my channel, I hope that you hit the subscribe button down below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.